Hey all, hey y'all. My name is Ashley-Nicole Phillips, and you are tuned in to Kingdom Things Podcast with myself, Ashley-Nicole Phillips. I'm a channel for the divine. I grow and evolve into greater conscious awareness, conscious acceptance of the self or all things myself, the self, all things myself, truly synonymous, symbiotic, synonymous, myself, all things, the all you, truly synonymous in our infinite dimensions, variances, contrast. The divine said, hey, actually, contrast was created to be harmonization, not dueling forces. Differences were created to be multiplicity to assist with evolution and variation and motion, not war, not fighting. The self in our differences, duality, contrast. Within Kingdom Things Podcast with myself, Ashley-Nicole Phillips, I use my shaman mama capabilities, my intimacy with my inner space or all things, psychic abilities, ESP, mediumship abilities, in which we're all truly innately equipped with. And we're awakening to this understanding in the masses, every being, everything, equipped with the innate faculties to not only sense our multiplicity or our multidimensionality or our energetic embodiment, but to read the energies and wisdoms and knowledge that is our multiplicity, our energetic embodiment, our infinite nature. Truly one in our infinite dimensions, superseding the paradigm of space and time, still one, but the paradigm of space and time has divine evolution, most commonly termed God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, is infinite paradigms of understanding. And space and time is one paradigm of the infinite paradigms of understanding of divine evolution, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, myself, yourself, all beings, all things, one with space and time, as well as the infinite paradigms of divine evolution, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Brahman, Hashem, the Most High. As we know, creation or divine evolution or existence within our synaptical acceptance or synaptical evolutionary state of evolution. And the way we perceive ourselves in reality, our energetic embodiments that manifest ourselves and our co-creates our manifestation of ourselves and our reality, is our evolutionary contribution to the evolution of all things, or the infinite nature that is God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High. We perceive our infinite nature as multidimensionality, or different dimensions and densities, or states of energetic embodiment, states of energetic beingness. We are awakening from a dense throng of frequencies that fed us thought patterns and wisdoms and understandings of our existential fundamental nature, which stated we were separate from God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, which stated that we were condemned or in isolation or one of one, or one species in a desolate, expansive, universal happening circumstance. The truth is our perspective of us being one or on our own or condemned or alone or separate from the divine God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, was our state of beingness, or our evolutionary acceptance of the self, which was our evolutionary contribution to the evolution of all things, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, as our energetic embodiment, which feeds us the thought patterns of the understandings of ourselves, of our possibilities, ripples out through space, time, and beyond to co-create or harmonize and assist with the evolution of all things, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, or infinite dimensions, or infinite paradigms of existence beyond the one paradigm of dimensionality. The paradigm of dimensionality is a paradigm which is understood by our synaptical understanding, so it is great, it is fine. It is, our contribution to the evolution of all things, the way we understand ourselves and our reality. Again, we are awakening from this dense throng of energy in which we evolved into through our energies or our existences, which our energy, our existence manifests as, insert your name. My name, Ashley. The ancestral forces in which we will be channeling today, Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, Howard Taft. I'm reading my notes, y'all. Howard Taft, Joseph Murphy, Francis of Assisi and Clara, the Holy Roman Emperor Pantheon, Tahuti, Rabbi Yeshua, most commonly termed Jesus Christ, within our synaptical understanding of reality. Myself, yourself, all the ancestral forces and energies and beings in which we're channeling today are dimensions, manifestations of our energetic evolutionary existence or contribution to the infinite dimensions of existence and paradigms beyond the understanding of existence, and which we most commonly term in our synaptical understanding of existence or divine evolution as God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High. We evolved into beings and energetic frequency, bandwidth of energies that manifested everything in which we are, everything in which we experienced, and everything in which we are, everything in which we experienced or experience was created, exists for us to atone with ourselves. Which brings me to the Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips, call to action. Sit with yourself every day, ask yourself, hey soul, hey self, what is it that I need to know to come into greater conscious awareness, as well as greater conscious acceptance, conscious embodiment of my limitless nature? I like to pray as universally aligned, universally assigned for the upliftment and regeneration of all things. Wait for the answers because they will come. Your lingo with the universe or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, or yourself is most likely unique to yourself. None more the more. Validate yourself and your knowings when you ask the question, hey soul, hey self, to your inner space. Hey soul, hey self, what is it that I need to know to come into greater conscious awareness, as well as greater conscious acceptance of my limitless potential, conscious embodiment of my limitless potentials? Validate yourself and your knowings. We evolved into a pattern, a throng of frequencies, which manifest our existence, our reality, our circumstances, for us to atone with ourselves or ask ourselves, hey soul, hey self, why did I show up like this? Hey soul, hey self, what is this in my reality trying to teach me about the self? As our energy, which manifests in infinite ways, is the self. Tandem one, synonymous, quantumly entangled with all beings, all things, all dimensions. Most commonly termed God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, within our synaptical understanding of divine evolution. Point to my head and my heart as our understandings are a symbiotic manifestation of frequencies reflecting, refracting, which manifest our existence. And we are synonymous to a tuning fork, which resonates with different frequencies and energies. And these frequencies and energies are thought patterns, knowledges, wisdoms, information, chakma, divine wisdoms, which align us to thought patterns, self-acceptance, or understandings of who we are, what reality is, which manifests our evolution, our growth, or our contribution to the evolution of all things. We're atoning with ourselves. It's atoning season. We evolved into beings, creations, existence, which co-created, manifests, exists as a reality with death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking. For us to be dimensions of divine evolution that confront or face or ask ourselves, atone with ourselves, hey, in meditation prayer, hey soul, hey self, what is death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking trying to tell me about myself or thee self? Or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Brahman, Hashem, the Most High, which manifests in infinite ways with paradigms beyond dimensionality. Infinite paradigms beyond dimensionality. Still multidimensionality accepted as our understanding of the infinite dimensions, or how God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High can manifest in infinite ways through dimensionality or contrast or differences. The infinite differences, contrasts, or dimensions still one in its self-acceptance, in our self-acceptance. If we've never experienced these things, death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking, we understand when we look out into our reality and we have neighbors or community or kinfolk, even if we've never met these neighbors or this community or kinfolk, or beings and things and dimensions in which manifest in our conscious awareness perspective of the self, or manifest in a way that we perceive these beings, dimensions, community, kinfolk, neighbors, even if we've never consciously met them or communed with these beings, kinfolks, neighbors, community. Understand that these beings, kinfolks, neighbors, community have experienced death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking. We've all experienced death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking. Atoning with the self, our self, dropping down in the heart space, soul space. Hey, soul, hey, self. What is this trying to teach me about myself, these self, all things? And waiting for the answers, the wisdoms, to be frequencies of the wisdoms, instead of the dense song of energies in which perpetuated the death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking. I channel ancestral forces transcendentally and otherwise. I'm channeling at this moment. All of my content is channel content. Again, I use my Shaman Mama capabilities, my connection to the oneness of all things, multidimensionality, ESP, deepening the intimacy with myself through the inner space, through prayer, meditation, and being inquisitive, atoning, being inquisitive about the self, atoning. Hey, soul, what is this trying to teach me about myself? Hey, soul, what is this person trying to teach me about myself or these self or all things? Waiting for the wisdoms, being the wisdoms, practicing the wisdoms, understanding we've always only been the wisdoms. The lackful thoughts in which said we were separate from limitless possibilities, miracles being our status quo or our homeostasis, wellness and balance being our status quo or our homeostasis. These lackful thoughts that took us out of alignment with these understandings that wellness, balance, infinite potentials, no death, no disease, no war, no famine, world peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking is our homeostasis. We were misaligned. In our time of misalignment, where we accepted death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking as a way of life, as things that just happen, as circumstances that are not quellable, as circumstances that are not to be accepted as things that just happen, but to be deep dived into or inquired about through the inner space of prayer, meditation, to embody the wisdoms or the frequencies that manifest no death, no disease, no war, no famine, world peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking. As this truly is our homeostasis. When we were misaligned and we were aligned to dense frequencies and vibrations, which hit the tuning fork, which is our existences, which resonated and manifested realities that perpetuated imbalances, or death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking. These were dimensions of our evolution in which we were contributing to the evolution of all things through mirroring back to the evolution of all things, where the evolution of all things, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, could be more wellness, could be more balance, could be more harmonious, could be more limitless acceptance of our limitless potentials. Excuse me, y'all. Through understanding, even with seemingly traveling far away from home, or traveling far away from our homeostasis, the wellness, balance, remembering that we're one in all beings, all things. Remember that we're kinfolk, community, neighbors. Even if we've never consciously met each other, we're still one mind, body, soul, spirit, all beings, all things. And our perception of a kaleidoscope where the colors and shapes break away seemingly to mirror dimensionality to one another. It's just that an experience. Yes, we are varying differences. Yes, we are mirroring, contrasting dimensions of existence. But these colors and dimensions and shapes and multidimensionality at an expanded consciousness, perspective, perception of self is one. We have this perspective, perception, understanding of this, understanding the oneness in all things, as celestial consciousness or universal consciousness or Christ consciousness. And these understandings are also limitations, as we are limitless, not limitations to say that it's a lackful disposition, but to give us the understanding that we were created to grow and evolve infinitely, which we've been speaking about it. All of this channeling, it is the Keynote Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole for those 2033 prophecy. It's ancient prophecy prophesied through many dimensions of our conscious awareness, conscious awareness of the self-acceptance of ourselves, or the dimensions of ourselves in which we're able to perceive through our sight, touch, taste, smell, hearing, and multidimensional faculties. This prophecy is not one that I made up, but I'm attuning for, and I was gifted this to share and channel. The Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips 2033 prophecy states that we will be a human culture in the masses with a genome activation status, spiritual awakening status, consciousness expanded collective status, to understand that we are a human culture, self-acceptance status, to understand that we are a human culture, galactic species, limitless energies having a galactic species, human culture experience with no death, no disease, no war, no ephemeral peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking. This will be our understanding of our homeostasis in the masses by the year 2033. Let's understand that this is now. And time and space is what? A paradigm of infinite paradigms. And everything is truly happening right now. We can dip down in our heart spaces through mere prayer, meditation, intention setting to be the future in the now moment, or the frequencies that are the wisdoms, that are the wellness, that create no death, no disease, no war, no ephemeral peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking. Frequencies that are awakening our genome, our spirit, our mind, body, soul, and spirit, activating our DNA, expanding our consciousness to the self-acceptance of limitless potentials, to the self-acceptance of the homeostasis of limitless potentials, to the self-acceptance of the homeostasis of wellness and balance, to the self-acceptance of the homeostasis of no death, no disease, no war, no ephemeral peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking, to the self-acceptance of the homeostasis of being able to dip into our inner space, through the intimacy with our inner space or all things, the multiverse, infinite potentials. Understanding that we ask any question and commune with our inner space, and we shall get the answers that's fit for our contribution to the evolution of all things. Because what we understand, what we believe about ourselves, what we're taught about ourselves, manifests how we evolve and show up and give back to the evolution of all things, or contribute to the evolution of all things. Again, call to action, sit with yourself every day, ask yourself, hey soul, what is it that I need to know to come into greater conscious awareness, as well as greater conscious embodiment of my limitless potentials? Wait for the answers, because they will come. So you can be your authentic soul's frequencies, contribution, healing frequencies, medicine, contribution to the evolution of all things, the wellness and balance of all things is universally aligned, universally assigned for the upliftment and regeneration of all things. I've cataloged my spiritual awakening journey within the podcast, Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. If you're watching on YouTube, subscribe and hit the notification bell to join the Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips community to be notified when there's new content coming. Hello to all of you that have been subscribed to the channel for some time. I'm being patient in the process of understanding that these transmissions are for whoever finds them. Soul aligned. So I set the intention for these podcasts to find whoever needs them, to help us through our awakening journey, as we remember to be validation from what we're already hearing through our inner space, to be validation from what we already know through our inner space, so we can accept ourselves and love ourselves and validate ourselves through our contributions to the evolution of all things, as we awaken in the masses to our multidimensionality, which is divine existence, which we've always only been. Even in our states of amnesia, or being in a dense fog of energy, which manifests the reality where we forgot our existential fundamental nature, remembrance that we're connected to all things, all beings, all things, infinite potentials. Hello, Kingdom Things Podcast community, YouTube community. If you're watching on Spotify, follow on Spotify to catch I believe there's a notification bell as well, to catch the new Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips releases. I've been recording my awakening journey, my soul sharing with me who I came in, who I blossomed back into divine evolution, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, to be, or the story, my energy or my manifestation as Ashley-Nicole Phillips is to contribute. My story is to contribute to the evolution of all things. The podcasts are timeless. Whatever helps you through your journey, I'm glad. That's what it's for. Journey of coming to greater conscious awareness, conscious acceptance, conscious embodiment of our limitless wellness and balance, in which we've always been, our limitless connection to universal orchestration or all things or limitless potentials. Again, hit the notification bell, follow if you're watching on Spotify, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube, to help proliferate the Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips, journey to greater conscious awareness, conscious acceptance of our limitless nature. We're home. We're home being the remembrance of our existential fundamental nature, of being tandemly connected, quantumly connected to all beings, all things, in the multiverse and beyond, as our paradigm understanding of anything, understanding that reality is limitless. So there's always expansion to be had, or evolution to be had, into the conscious awareness of our existence, of our existential fundamental nature. We were in the dense throng where we forgot our greater truths. Now our awakening and remembering our homeostasis of being able to drop into our heart center or our soul or our inner space and ask about our existential fundamental nature and have those questions be answered through our soul space, the multiverse, through ancestral forces, is our homeostasis. We're awakening to this. Again, I've channeled my process of awakening and being shared wisdoms and divine remembrance in the podcast, Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. I also have another podcast in which we do powwow sessions over there. We come through the inner space, the ancestral forces be like, hey, galactic forces and beyond be like, hey, Ashley, look at these paradigms of humanism. We're going to channel healing frequencies and ancestral forces to help uplift the vibrations of these human paradigms, galactic heritage paradigms, to expand us and align us to greater conscious awareness, conscious embodiment of our limitless potentials. Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment is available to stream on YouTube for free. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. The channel is linked below. I said of my limitless potentials. Waking up from a narcissistic disposition, where we believe the way we live life, the way we perceive, is all that there is. That was the dense song of energies. Awakening and aligning to the remembrance of our homeostasis, understanding that there is infinite dimensions, infinite lifestyles, infinite variances outside of the way we live, the way we perceive. And understanding when we walk out the door, we're going to meet different dimensions of ourselves, because those infinite dimensions, the infinite lifestyles, infinite variances outside of what we believe, but what we believe how we live is still one with us. And when we walk out the door, when we dip in our heart space, we're going to experience new dimensions of us in which we're outside of the paradigms of who we believe we are or the way we live, our understandings of ourselves. And this is divine evolution, to expand our awareness of the self. The divine wants to see, what do we create? Which brings me to the Kingdom Things Podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips, Human Dharmic Purpose. It's biblical and told around many dimensions on our planet, many cultures, many religions. We are created in the mirror of divine evolution, just as there are infinite beings, all things are created in the mirror of divine evolution, or infinite nature, or God, or our infinite nature, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High. The divine wants to see, what do we create as we awaken to the remembrance that we are one of infinite dimensions, one of infinite beings, tandem with divine evolution, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, our limitless potentials. The divine wants to see, what do we create with coming online from this gestational phase of being out of alignment with frequencies and resonating with wisdoms of greater truths of our limitless nature. Awakening from this phase of amnesia and aligning back with our limitless remembrance of our limitless truth, resonating as and with vibrations and frequencies of limitless potentials, wellness, and balance is universally aligned, universally assigned. For the upliftment and regeneration of all things, the divine wants to see, what do we create? We've already decided in the masses, on a spirit level, soul level, or universal orchestration level. The divine needs the human culture of planet Earth, human culture of our ascension cycle, dimensionality, acceptance of ourselves, universal alignment, acceptance of ourselves with no death, no disease, no war, no famine, no peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking. Excuse me, y'all. What else do we create? Which brings me to the Kardashev scale prophecy. The divine says we've always only been a Kardashev scale busting. Kardashev scale busting meaning limitless, high consciousness, evolved, galactic citizens, galactic community of the cosmos. We've been up. Space and time is a paradigm that in which is relative. Thank you, Ancestral Force Einstein, for bringing this into our conscious awareness. Meaning everything is happening here and now. How do we align with the Kardashev scale? How do we align with the understandings, the frequencies, vibrations that feed us the wisdoms, the understanding that we are a Kardashev scale, high consciousness, galactic and beyond civilization of divine evolution, or the cosmos of galactic creation. through raising our vibrations or being inquisitive about our self, accepting that we are limitless, accepting that we are multidimensional, and allowing ourselves to grow out of the boxes of our stark, narcissistic, bigoted acceptance of who we are, what we are, where we are, of our existential fundamental nature, to blossom back into the remembrance that we are limitless. In every way that we show up in every moment is our contribution to the evolution of all things. The Divine says we need a Kardashev scale, type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5, type 5, type 5, type 6. Human culture, human galactic force, human and beyond galactic species of the cosmos. High consciousness species of the cosmos. No longer putting a cap on our potentials. I used to channel Kardashev scale type 1, type 2, type 3. No longer putting a cap on our potentials, because what we can choose in this moment to align with frequencies as a collective, to align with frequencies of a Kardashev scale type 10, galactic community of the cosmos, galactic colony of the cosmos, and guess what? So shall it be. We'll start manifesting and perceiving how we've already had these elements of high consciousness civilizations, aligning to these elements of high consciousness civilization in the masses, where we appreciate life, we protect life through our intentions to be the wellness and wisdoms that proliferate and heal life. No death, no disease, no war, no famine, no peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking. Where we no longer die and are no longer are buried into the earth, but instead we cellularly regenerate, molecularly regenerate, as this is our innate homeostasis, with being aligned to the wisdoms of our limitless wellness and balanced nature, universal, harmonious, universal orchestration nature. Instead of being dying and buried into the earth, we proliferate, we colonize, we seed on different planets and different dimensions, densities of divine evolution, to co-create with different densities, dimensions, frequencies, planets of divine evolution, synonymous with the way we walk outside and we meet our friend at an Ethiopian restaurant, and we experience Ethiopian culture through that restaurant. And we're aligned with frequencies of the Ethiopian culture. And we start manifesting, understanding that alignment with the Ethiopian energy of the Ethiopian culture is now a part of our DNA, or the evolution of our existence, or our energy. So when we no longer are buried into the earth, and instead we colonize in different densities, different dimensions on different planets, we assist with proliferating our wisdoms from our experiences, awakening as a galactic, limitless energy, forces, energies, manifested as a galactic species, awakening as a galactic species in which we are truly synonymous with infinite energies, awakening from a slumber where we were in a box, where we forgot our multidimensionality, where we forgot our self-acceptance of our infinite nature, our divine evolution, infinite potential nature. And we were manifested as a culture with death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking. We awaken and we be the wisdoms from this experience. We be the wisdoms from the death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking, which creates a lot of love, which creates what? Family, which creates what? Unity. No longer trauma bonding over the death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking, but being one in the wisdoms that come from the death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking. Sharing these wisdoms with the cosmos, with different dimensions, different planets, different densities, with different frequencies, which we've always only been, because what our energy reverberates out, emanates out to different dimensions, planets, species, densities, frequencies. We've always only been one. Our conscious awareness is shifting and changing, where we get to co-create consciously in infinite other ways. We're actually going to roll into an episode of my animated series, Osseous the animated series, multidimensional experiences in which I have conscious awareness of, multidimensional wisdoms in which I have conscious awareness of. I channel into the animated series. This episode is analogous to what we're experiencing now. It's the manifestation from the energies in which we're experiencing now. Osseous the animated series is available to stream for free on my YouTube channel at this time. AP Short Stories on YouTube, link below. In the description of this Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. This episode is titled The Age of Unconditional Love. Let's go ahead and roll into it. Hope you enjoy it.
Between me and you, life is all that it's cracked up to be. Taking my dark moments with as much gratitude as I do my light, I am able to perceive a wider scope of who I am. I am able to perceive more of my multidimensionality.
Which is available on Amazon books, in the Amazon bookstore. Coming home this way, my book. I wrote Palm Frites into my book. It's a restaurant in NYC. My book, Coming Home, the Story of Asya, followed by the story of Asya, I'm Home, is available in the Amazon bookstore. It's about what humanity is about to going through the Great Awakening, the Great Shift, where we wake up to our limitless potentials. So I wrote about palm frites in my book. I've been wanting to go to palm frites since I was a kid. I've been talking about palm frites for the last 3 months. I'm manifesting. I'm in New York City, NYC. Palm frites is 44 minutes that way if you walk, 8 minutes if you Uber,
You rang. How can I assist you, dear Asya? Well, I'm on my flight to London, and I got a vision. Ashley-Nicole, please, Mindy, my dearest galactic ancestor, tell me what's going on here. I didn't know who else to ask about this, so I dropped into a deep meditation. And here you are. I'm always here, whenever you need me. Me and all of creation. You are a dimension of all of creation. I'm a character in a book?
Hey, my name is Asya, and I am an interdimensional being. I know. I just found out myself. Everything that I thought was my truth was a lie. I chose to continue this life because of the one thing that I know isn't a lie. Love.
What did you think the book of Akashic Records consisted of? Just as Ashley-Nicole authored you or channeled you into creation, your co-creator, Ashley, was written into creation herself. But you reside within a reality of infinite realities. The age of unconditional love you have been assisting to bring about. You, your co-creator Ashley, and all of creation have been assisting to create, will allow for all realities, dimensions, and creations to transcend space and time, to grow, learn, and love from and with one another, as one creation, one family. Well, I had such a great time in London. I saw Big Ben. I ate at one of my favorite restaurants that I'd never visited before, Bacchanalia, London. I stayed at the Claremont Victoria, right around the corner from Buckingham Palace. I visited the palace as well. I also graduated into my role as an ambassador of the universe. I know. It went like this. As I was awaiting London public transit to take me 0.6 miles away from my destination, Bacchanalia, London, I got an epiphany. I once told a friend, our bodies aren't dumpsters for all of our emotions. And I was reminded that I had been holding in a lot of resentment and anger over the years for being or presenting as other than who I was, for not allowing my soul or my true authenticity to breathe. I was reminded by my ancestors that me forgetting who I was, a goddess having a human experience, was a part of the makings of me. And not only was forgetting who I am a part of the makings of me, but it was for my protection. I had to develop the skills or karmic lessons to be able to wield the power that is me, myself,
my God essence, my goddess essence. All of the resentment, anger, envy, jealousy, and rage I held within, I'm now able to observe with a subjective view, an objective view, detached from the energies, and detach all people, places, and things from the thought patterns associated with this energy, in order to create new thought patterns, to utilize the energy to manifest a reality that I do want, a reality of wellness, a reality for abundance for all, a reality of abundance for all. I sit here on this bench in the park whenever I need space to be with myself. Okay, how do I present this one? Other dimensions of myself, or my ancestors, shared with me that there is such a thing as a shadow government here on planet Earth. Based off of my internal work, my shadow work, my astral travel, and my learnings with my spirit guides, I have the understanding that everything in creation is multidimensional. The government is multidimensional. Our governments are multidimensional. Who are the shadows lurking behind the light, or what we can perceive in our reality? The shadow government is actually angelic beings, the all, oneness, or God, assisting with humanity's and planet Earth's ascension. Everything we've experienced and everything that we will experience has served as tools for self-mastery to be able to wield our oneness, God power in physical form here in this realm of creation called planet Earth as human beings. As we all, as individual humans, continue to align with our internal gnosis, or our soul's knowings, or our soul blueprint, we will continue to extinguish any remnants of the amnesiatic states in which we created out of false pretense, in which we created out of the understanding that we are abundance, in which we created out of the understanding that we are dimensions and are God, Goddess.
I'm glad we were able to pencil each other in.
Me too. You know, our missions keep us busy. Super busy.
Yeah, I know. We just have to remember where our mission starts. Internal, our soul. Where we meet, our soul.
Yes and yes. Before I get into all the juicy astral details, you like my new hairstyle?
I really do. What inspired the do?
I'm not sure. I just wanted something different. Well, different for me anyways.
I love it, Asya.
Thank you. I'm so grateful for our bond, our connection. My internal knowings, intuition, God inside told me a while ago that we were created with each other's most wildest dreams and possibilities in mind. I definitely believe it now. If I had any doubts before, I have less doubts now.
Do you want to talk about it?
In front of the camera?
Cut. What are you talking about, Chase? Why don't you want to talk about it on camera, Asya? Asya?
Chase is talking about some things that have implications on human nature and the planet. I'm not sure if I want to talk about it on camera yet. Well, Asia, you signed on to be a part of a show where you divulged the journey, your spiritual alignment, to hopefully encourage others that are going through similar things as yourself. You have to tell your truth, tell your story. It's going to be fine. Okay, Asia? Okay.
I am a key.
I am a key.
And our union in this reality solidifies the solidarity of all of creation, the oneness of all things.
A new world. A God dream.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Asia's Story, the animated series. I'll link the episode below in the description. Reference content in the description of this Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips episode, rendition edition. Just like the podcast, the animated series is timeless. Whatever costs your heart space, I hope it's soul activating, aligns you with greater conscious awareness, greater conscious embodiment of the universal orchestration in which all things are, in which you are, in which we are, for the upliftment and regeneration of all things is universally aligned, universally assigned. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and sit back, and we're gonna go ahead and begin to transcendentally channel the ancestral forces. We're gonna start with Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor. Thank you, Abdullah. Thank you, Ashley, for having me here in the podcast, having me here to co-create an existence, a substantial understanding of our existence, as we are multidimensional beings, even in our calcification of density, where we see form in our shape and shape in our form instead of lucid, infinite potentials, infinite dimensions, infinite celestial embodiments, universal gases and stars and dust, culminating to manifest our space, our shape, our form. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Ancestral Force. Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor. Thank you, Ancestor. Thank you. Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, manifested in our perspective, perception of reality or existence in a way that you can research Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, to perceive a greater understanding of Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor's contribution to the evolution of all things through our synaptical understanding of reality. Because what we perceive Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, contributed to evolution is far less than the infinite dimensions in which Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, actually contributed. Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, was actually a mentor to Neville Goddard, Professor Neville Goddard. In some spheres of our evolutionary journey, Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, there's a question mark next to his existence, whether he even existed. Sure, he surely exists. He laughs at this. He scoffs. Right? He scoffs at this. That's the word he wanted to use. Scoff. He's scoffing. He definitely exists in infinite ways, just as we all do. Just because we don't perceive something does not mean it doesn't exist. It means our perception of whatever we're skeptical about. It's outside of our realms of self-acceptance or self-perception of the self, or perception of the self. Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, definitely exists. And you can research him. He was a mentor to Sir Professor Dr. Neville Goddard. I actually did a Kingdom Things podcast episode where I co-created an episode with Sir Professor Neville Goddard. I'm going to link it below in the reference content and the description of this video. It's right on par with really all of the podcasts, all of our existence. The remembrance that we're one in each other, one in all things. The illusion of separation is a manifestation of the wisdoms, energies in which we embody, and the manifestation of the wisdoms and energy in which we embody, which casts or projects our experience, our reality, our acceptance of the self, is our contribution to the evolution of all things. So we accept ourselves. We no longer condemn ourselves. We accept ourselves. We atone with ourselves, or ask ourselves, hey self, what is this dimension of the self, myself, the self, trying to teach me about myself? Garnering the wisdoms, being the wisdoms, remembering that we've always only been the wisdoms. Our homeostasis is the wisdoms, practicing the wisdoms, speaking to ourselves the wisdoms, embodying the wisdoms to manifest the evolution of wellness and balance and greater conscious awareness, greater conscious embodiment of the limitless potentials in which we've always only been. Again, the installment with Neville Goddard is linked below in the description of this video, of this installment. I'm going to sit back and we're going to channel Sir Howard Taft, President Howard Taft. My soul is like, we didn't want you to do, my soul is like, Ashley, we didn't want you to do too much pre-production as far as the understandings of these individuals, of these ancestral forces, of these limitless potentials embodied as individuals, as ancestral forces, because there are certain messages the soul wanted to channel through that the soul didn't want hindered or dampened by my preconceived notions of how these ancestral forces are going to show up. So I know Howard Taft, President Howard Taft, President of the United States of America. Thank you, President Howard Taft, for joining this Kingdom Things podcast installment, for being divine evolution to assist with the evolution of all things. Thank you. Thank you, Ashley, for having me here in the presentation of an experience which allows the progressive understanding of our nature, a progressive understanding of our nature in which we, in our density, in many dimensions, I'm here to express, here to say, as we live and be, walk in our faculties as understanding of being alive in reality, out of alignment with the remembrance that we're limitless, out of alignment with the remembrance of our universal orchestration, harmonious homeostasis, out of alignment with our disposition that is our nature to be wellness, frequencies of wellness. And we transcend or we die. We live, we be. As beings, we lived, past tense, Ashley. We lived, we were as beings, walking and being in realities as the beings in which you walk and be as. Now, no longer out of alignment with our homeostasis of wellness and balance, no longer out of alignment with our homeostasis of limitless potentials, harmonious universal orchestration, no longer out of alignment with our homeostasis of the ability to drop into our centers, our bodies, our existence, our vessels, which are one with universal orchestration, to inquire, be the wisdoms of the existential fundamentals of nature, that is our universal tandem quantum nature with reality, divine evolution, or God. Thank you, Ashley. Ooh, thank you. Ooh, the heart space. Energy is coming through. Thank you, President Sir Howard Taft. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, let's take a beat. Let's take a beat. Let's take a beat. Ooh, thank you. I just received an understanding. I just received an understanding, and this is a joyous moment. There's a lot of energy healing moving through the body, the heart space, soul space, whole body, chakra system, whole existence. Excuse me. This is a joyous revelation, divine revelation alert, divine revelation alert. Thank you, Sir President Howard Taft. The soul, my soul, oneness of all things, you, because the soul, my soul, the oneness of all things, you truly channel. It's trying to get me to perceive how we've all died before. And our death just aligns us with parallel universes where we wake up or we resume with the amnesia to the fact that we've died in a different reality, and our vibrations, our frequencies, our manifestations just align with different parallel realities to resume the evolution of our existence. You're welcome. Thank you. The soul's been trying to get me to see this. I was scared. I mean, I witnessed it, but I was scared. In 2018, I was catalyzed onto my spiritual awakening journey via the twin flame journey, divine orchestration, divine intervention. I knew who my person was going to be since I was 9 years old, because I got the divine revelation. Let me take a deep breath. I got the divine revelation when I was 9 years old, who my divine counterpart or my husband was going to be. My soul was like, because my divine counterpart, my husband, was a child actor on a show that me and my sister used to watch. And my soul was like, Ashley, if you were more aligned with existential fundamental nature remembrances when you were 9 years old, instead of saying that's going to be your husband, we would, yes, that's true, but we would have also said y'all are going to heal together. You would have remembered husband means, or mate means, spouse means we're going to heal together. We're going to grow and evolve together into greater conscious awareness, conscious embodiment of our limitless potentials through prayer, meditation, seeking God in all things, being frequencies of wellness and balance, through aligning our intentions to be with frequencies of wellness and balance, to assist with the evolution and wellness and upliftment of all beings, all things, into greater conscious awareness of our harmonious unity in all beings, all things, or limitless potentials, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High. I'm going to sit back and thank you, Ancestral Forces, Abdullah, the Ethiopian, Mystic Mentor, Howard Taft, Joseph Mercy. We're going to channel Joseph Murphy next. I paused because there's a story I wanted to tell. There's energies that are saying don't tell the story. There's energies that are saying do tell the story. So when I was in 2018, so I was 9 years old, that's going to be your husband. 2018, this is like, about 15 years later, the soul's like, my soul's like, I should do the math. 16 years later, my soul's like, hey, Ashley, go celibate. We're going to bring your divine counterpart in, your person in. It was a divine encounter. I heard loudly through my inner space. There's nothing else you can learn from this relationship you're engaging in. Go celibate. We're going to bring your divine counterpart in. Soul, future self, the oneness of all things, universal orchestration, flash. My divine counterpart in my mind's eye. I went celibate, cold turkey. 9-10 months later, my soul, the self, is like, hey, message your person on Instagram. I did, because my divine counterpart, he grew and evolved in spaces in our dimensionality of existence, where he's still in the public eye. So I was afraid to message him on Instagram. I had inclinations to do so in 2017. I was afraid. I was scared. I had 2018 divine intervention, divine encounter through the inner space. Hey, Ashley, go celebrate. We'll bring your divine counterpart in. Flash my divine counterpart. Picture my divine counterpart in my mind's eye. I said, okay, cold turkey, went celibate. 9-10 months later, the soul was like, hey, Ashley, message your person on Instagram. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I was scared. The soul, divine encounter, baby, manifested through my body. I got up, animated my the divine animated my vessels. I got up. I messaged my person. I think we were made for each other. Period. Sin. I was gonna say, I don't think he's gonna see it. The soul said, hey, Ashley, don't say that. We're gonna make sure he sees it. He saw it. We came into conscious awareness of one another. We started messaging one another. And my whole life evolved and changed, fell apart. COVID started. I was guided to quit my job. I lost my apartment, lost my car. Fast forward, I'm in a space where the divine's like, hey, Ashley, you need to heal. The soul's like, hey, Ashley, you need to heal. I start praying and meditating, living zealotry, or seeking God within. I know there's negative connotation when it comes to zealotry. My ancestors just told me, hey, zealotry actually seeking God within. As a way of life. Like seeing God in all things, really seeing God in all things and being inquisitive about the God that is all things, to be the wisdoms from the inquisitive disposition of which is all things, or God which is all things, to be the wisdoms. So zealotry seeking God within, God in all things. So strengthening my intimacy with the self, the soul, the universal orchestration of all things. I had Powwow sessions or discussions healing with the soul through the inner space. My soul was like, hey, Ashley, you would have got in a horrible car crash and transcended had we not have brought you and your divine counterpart together for your life to fall apart. We had to do that to pull you out of that timeline, to help you, assist you with rising into higher timeline potentials or greater conscious awareness, greater conscious embodiment of your limitless potentials, to assist with the evolution of all beings, all things, into greater conscious awareness, greater conscious embodiment of the limitless potentials in which all beings, all things, in which we all are. And I was in prayer meditation when I had this conversation, and I perceived like that timeline where I did get in a car wreck, where I did transcend. And now I have the understanding, yes, actually it happened, but your conscious awareness like was realigned to a different timeline of reality where you didn't experience it. So to your perspective, perception, it didn't happen. And that's what we get to do. We get to atone with ourselves or meet ourselves, be inquisitive about our existence, to deepen the intimacy with ourself, our universal orchestration, to meet the future with solution, to be the solution that is future, that is a future in the present moment. To raise our vibrations into higher timeline of existence that are no death, no disease, no war, no famine, war, peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking, which exists right now. Again, raising our vibrations to manifest this existence in our conscious perspective, perception, acceptance of ourself, of reality, of our divine evolution. And so shall it be. As universally aligned, universally assigned for the upliftment and regeneration of all things. There's energies that are thought patterns. What was stopping us from being this, no death, no disease, for accepting and experiencing these dimensionalities, these timelines, these universal orchestrations, acceptance of the self, no death, no disease, no war, no famine, war, peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking. The narcissistic bigoted meaning tightly gripped. Thought patterns, understandings of who we are, what we are. Letting go. To allow for our homeostasis of wellness, balance, miraculous happening, limitless potentials, no death, no disease, no war, no famine, world peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking, to be who we are in our conscious acceptance, perspective, experience of the self or all things, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, the way we show up, the way we contribute, the way we accept ourselves or manifest and experience or appreciate ourselves contributes to the evolution of all things. And if we're contributing conscious awareness, conscious self-acceptance of no death, no disease, no war, no famine, world peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking, our limitless wellness, balance, homeostasis, natural, existential, fundamental nature, homeostasis. We contribute energies of upliftment, regeneration to all things, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, and so shall it be. It's universally aligned, universally assigned for the upliftment, regeneration of all things. Remembering the way we speak, the way we intend or align our intentionality creates how we align our energies, our frequencies, how we perceive ourselves, how we evolve, how we manifest, how we show up, how we experience. Thank you again, Ancestral Forces, Universal Forces, Existence, myself, Ashley, Abdullah, the Ethiopian Mystic Mentor, Howard Taft. We're going to sit back and we're going to transcendentally channel Joseph Murphy. Thank you, Ancestral Force. Thank you, Ashley, for having me here. You perceive me in dimensionality as I existed, well known in the 40s as a mentor, as a spiritual teacher, spiritual guru. You perceive me in a way that I understood that I perceive myself as a distinctive member of the spiritual culture, of the spiritual consciousness, evolutionary mentorship of the planet, when it was all an act. We're all acting, and our state of acting is mirrored back to us when we perceive dimensions of ourselves that are other than or less than wellness and balance, other than or less than the remembrance that we are limitless potentials, other than or less than no death, no disease, no war, no famine, world peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking. In order for one to rise, we must all rise. Or we must all understand that life existence is a journey of divine evolution, meaning our sequential patterning where we perceive one step after another is an existence that is an existence, and that tandem with this existence is the existence in which we can accept our limitless wellness balance in this moment and be the wellness and balance, be the acceptance of our wellness and balance. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Ancestral Force, Joseph Murphy, Dr. Professor Joseph Murphy. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and channel the Ancestral Forces. Francis of Assisi and Clara, counterparts, divine counterparts, twin flames, one entity with a distinctive dimensionality manifested in our perspective perception of divine evolution. We perceive Assisi and Clara, truly one entity, one being. Thank you, Ancestral Forces. Thank you, Ashley, for having us in the representation of the Kingdom Things podcast, to be wellness, to be balanced, to be pioneers in the remembrance that in our dimensionality, in our functioning as beings on bipedal forces or bipedal legs, our bipedal forces or bipedal legs are tandem with the infinite orchestration of universes, of stars, of fragments, of universal orchestration, of the wholeness of universal orchestration. One with our whole existence. One with the remembrance that the way we experience ourselves in every moment has zero separation with the way the universe has experienced itself as the universe collides and merges and syncopates and moves in a symphonic breeze, symphonic motion. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, community. Thank you, family. Thank you, kinfolk. Thank you, humanity. Thank you, ancestral forces that are humanity, that are the kinfolk, that is the community of galactic species, one with every galactic species, galactic dimension of divine evolution. Thank you, Ashley. Ooh, thank you. Ooh, thank you, ancestral forces. Thank you. Francis of Assisi, Clara, the being that is. Francis of Assisi and Clara, thank you, ancestral forces. Ooh. Now, when I channel these ancestral forces, multidimensionally, I perceive their existence tandem with my existence in a way that is tempered. The more I experience Joseph Murphy laughing in a bashful way when I said Dr. Joseph Murphy. Professor Dr. Joseph Murphy. I perceived Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, having a superiority complex disposition. In the way that he scoffed at the people, beings who don't believe in his existence because they didn't perceive his existence. He's like, y'all didn't see me because I didn't want to be seen. If I wanted y'all to see me, best believe y'all would have seen me. And there's plenty of beings that were a part of my divine evolution, which I did meet, I did mentor, I did work intimately with, and they saw me, they know me. And I experienced Howard Taft, where he has a boastful disposition, a proud disposition, and a lot of the adjectives that I just shared. We have Francis of Assisi and Clara. Francis of Assisi, we might think of it as a poverty disposition, poverty mindset, where he perceives the parts and being comfortable with the whole from which the parts stem from. And if we know Francis of Assisi and Clara's story, Francis of Assisi came from a well-to-do family. And he denounced money, denounced high society to align with the calling of his soul space, to align with the remembrance of the oneness of divine existence, of church, of spirit, of being a prophet, prophetess, as we see in Clara. Now, all of these adjectives and storylines of the souls of these ancestral forces: Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor, Howard Taft, Joseph Murphy, Francis of Assisi, and Clara, we might think have negative connotations to some of these adjectives and storylines. These adjectives and storylines are one with the soul, one with divine evolution, one with you and I. And the ancestral forces from the galaxies and beyond are like, hey, don't demonize y'all, the makings of y'all. Dive into it, atone with it, be the wisdoms from it, to grow and evolve into more conscious awareness, conscious embodiment of our limitless potential, or our tandem nature with multidimensionality, our tandem nature with the universe, our tandem nature with infinite existence, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High, to be able to perceive this tandem nature. By atoning, accepting, being the wisdoms from our evolution, instead of denouncing or running from it. Understanding how we're one with all beings, all things. Thank you, Francis of Assisi and Clara, Joseph Murphy, Howard Taft, Abdullah, the Ethiopian mystic mentor. Love. We're going to sit back and we are going to channel the Holy Roman Emperor Pantheon. I'm going to link below an installment of Kingdom Things podcast in which I did, where I channeled the Holy Roman Emperor Leopold. It's one of the Leopolds. It wants to come through right now, but you know we're multidimensional. So I'm saying like two different timelines. So I don't know. I can't remember if it's Leopold the first or Leopold the second, because I'm saying the first and the second. Leopold the first, asterisk. So I channeled Holy Roman Emperor Leopold the first. We might have the asterisk. It might be the second. I mean, we in a lot of dimensions right now, channeling all these ancestral wisdoms, forces, energies. I'm going to link the Kingdom Things podcast installment below. Again, all of the Kingdom Things podcast installments, all of my content actually is timeless. The installment's titled The Army. I channel Archangel Michael, Holy Roman Emperor Leopold the second or the first, one of them. The Holy Roman Emperor Leopold. Respectfully, ancestral force. Holy Roman Emperor Leopold, as well as Katumi. The installment's called The Army. I'm going to link it below. And in this installment, it got graphic, so viewers' discretion is advised. It got graphic in a way that, like, pedophilia was talked about, was channeled about pedophilia, channeled about dimensions of the dark density of galactic heritage. Understanding everywhere that we show up, every dimension in which our understandings of ourselves manifest is one with galactic heritage, is one with divine evolutionary heritage. Manifests in the way that we perceive it, for us to learn about ourselves, or our energy, to be the wisdoms of ourselves, our energy to grow and evolve into greater conscious awareness, conscious embodiment of our tandem nature with universal orchestration of all things, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High. So pedophilia was channeled about. I was not expecting it. And yeah, pedophilia, you'll see. Yeah, you can perceive. Pedophilia was channeled about where you consummate with animals. I forgot the name again. There's a word for it. I forgot it again. We channeled about it. Leopold, Holy Roman Emperor Leopold, he was very forthcoming in his experiences in which he had behind closed doors. And he was forthcoming with the understanding that he's grown and evolved into, about how the experiences that he had behind closed doors affected all beings, all things. Regardless of if he thought he was doing it in secret, his energy told on him, or his energy was inundated and rippled out to affect all beings, all things, even though he thought he was doing these things behind closed doors. Pedophilia and consummating with animals and raping men and women. He thought he was doing this stuff behind closed doors, but everything we think we're doing behind closed doors. We're on a stage. I channeled this in the podcast. We're on the stage. It was an audio style podcast, so I don't remember exactly where this blurb is. Whenever I do audio styles, I'm living my life, and I channel. The soul's like, hey, Ashley, channel this into the podcast, and I'll voice memo channel voice notes, and I'll stitch these together, and these are the audio style Kingdom Things podcasts. This channeling, this divine wisdom understanding, is in one of the audio amalgamated podcasts. I don't remember which one. So, excuse me, I apologize. So I'll just restate it here. universal orchestration, divine, celestial, ancestral forces, and beyond. It's like whenever you think you're doing something behind closed doors, you're on a stage with high and low lights. Not only are ancestral forces one with our eyesight, one with our motion, one with our sentience, one with our biology, one with our existence, so they experience infinite dimensions, or all things experienced through our experience, our existence. But we're also, so there's this dimension, and then there's also infinite dimensions watching from different perspectives. Everything that we do, even if we think we're doing it behind a closed door, we're on the stage with high and low lights. So thank you, Ancestral Force, Holy Roman Emperor Leopold. He was very forthcoming. He was very forthcoming with evolving into the understandings. We think he died, he transcended. He's like, no, I'm in a different dimension of existence where I've evolved into greater understandings of how everything that I do energetically ripples out and affects the evolution of all beings, all things, even when I thought I was doing stuff behind closed doors. So this is the Army. It's linked below in the Kingdom Things podcast reference content in the description of this video. And then I channeled another Kingdom Things podcast episode. I channeled the Kings of Kush. And this installment is called Ancestral Teachings. It's linked below it's a Kingdom Things podcast episode linked below in the Kingdom Things podcast reference content. Again, the content is timeless. Whatever calls out to your heart, great. Heart space, great. It's called Ancestral Teachings. There's something else in the title, but Ancestral Teachings for sure is in the title. It's linked below, again, in the description of this Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips episode. I channeled the Kings of Kush. And at the time when I channeled the Kings of Kush, I had a narcissistic, bigoted disposition perspective as growing up as a black girl, black lady, black woman of the South of the United States of America, where I was indoctrinated with a lot of teachings every year through grade school about what the evolution of beings that look like me, African, black folks, beings that look African American, African people, what beings like me, what our evolution consisted of. I was indoctrinated with Jim Crow, slavery, and gratefully there were other things we were taught, during African American History Month, February, we were taught other things, and during other spaces in the month, but normally that's saved for African American History Month, where we're taught about George Washington Carver. We're taught about Martin Luther King Jr. So I grew up with an anger, a fervor. I'll say a fervor, but at the time I perceived anger. Let's uplift the vibration. Let me uplift these dimensions of myself to be an uplifting frequency. Let's be the wisdoms and wellness from our evolution. I grew up with the fervor to understand and be exposed to dimensions of my blackness beyond slavery. And at the time when I was growing up, y'all, now hindsight's 2020, these things were gifted to me through different ways. Because understand, whenever we ask for something, it's there. It's that your wish is being granted. It might not show up the way you think it's going to show up or you want it to show up, and that's where sometimes you can miss where your prayers are being answered, or your questions are being answered, your prayers are being answered. So I think a lot of the times my conscious mind was missing where the soul was manifesting and answering my prayers, my wishes, my questions, because it didn't show up the way I wanted it to, or what I thought it would show up, or how I thought it would show up, or I was too focused on the fervor to understand here's the answer to your fervor or your anger for feeling like the history of the makings of you beyond slavery and Jim Crow was taken from you through slavery, through the transatlantic slave trade. Because I am a mixed race being. My mom's mom, my maternal grandmother is European, full-blooded European woman. Then my grandpa, my mom's father, my grandpa is an African American man. My father is a fully black man, African American man. So my grandmother and my grandfather on my father's side, fully African American. Now I could go search for the history of my European ancestry. I've been able to easily easily, one Google search, rise in heavily rising, my grandma Emma. I just searched my grandma Emma's name and my Uncle Fred's name online because they both transcended, they shift dimensions. They both shifted dimensions. And we're now coming to a space where we're awakening, where we can now co-create with these dimensions. And as if we never shifted dimensions. And so shall it be. And we have gratitude. And it's coming, the rapture. We are one with the rapture, and we're gonna let it manifest the way it manifests. It needs to manifest. Now I'm experiencing my grandmama, my great grandmama Emma, and my Uncle Freddie through my inner space right now. So I'm gonna be appreciative of this moment, and thank you, ancestors. Thank you, Uncle Freddie, Grandma Emma, great grandma Emma. You're welcome. So I can easily search their names. And the memorial websites in which their memorials are commemorated. Links back the lineage, which I'm grateful for. I'm not mad at this. Links back the lineage all the way to my great-great-grandfather that migrated from Czech Republic. The time he came from Czech Republic, it wasn't called Czech Republic. It was called Junklabov Moravia. So I could follow my lineage from my great-grandmama Emma all the way back over to Czech Republic, Junklabov Moravia. Now, my African-American heritage, not as easy at all to look back and find like that. And now I know I can go through my inner space, pray and meditate, and commune with my ancestors through my inner space. And I have gratitude. And that's what they're really trying to do with me all my life. It was always happening, but our conscious awareness is what changes. We always only commune, and we're always only being tapped on by the heart space, by infinite dimensions of the self, our ancestral forces. Our conscious awareness of what it is what changes. Before we would call it schizophrenia and demonize it, and run from our multidimensionality, and run from our universal orchestration tandem nature, and run from our quantum energetic oneness with all beings, all things. I actually channeled this. This is one of the first transmissions I did. The soul wanted to make sure that I wanted to give these wisdoms, remind us of these wisdoms, so we weren't afraid to become whole, afraid to be remembered. The installment, I always forget the installment title, but it has Mesopotamia in the title. Mesopotamia in the title is linked below. I channeled, do not replace any of your professional medical advice with anything you experience or hear within the Kingdom Things podcast with Ashley-Nicole Phillips content, or any of my content, timeless content. But as well, I channeled that schizophrenia, autism, bipolar are our multidimensionality misconstrued through our shrunken consciousness, perspective, acceptance of ourselves or of the self. So anything outside of what we call normality, and the normality in which we call normality, which I channeled this in this installment, were actually karmic imbalances, karmic dysfunction, or energetic imbalances, energetic dysfunction. That was our normal. And anything outside of this normal, these paradigms of normalcy, or anything outside of this karmic energetic imbalances, we gave these ways of manifesting, or ways as being or processing. We demonized it and gave them, and created disorders out of them, created disease out of them. Schizophrenia, bipolar, autism, the divines are neurodivergency. These are the divines, like these are different ways to sense and be our senses, our existence, or different ways to perceive our multidimensionality. And y'all demonize it, because y'all don't demonize that. The fact that y'all demonize it, just accept it, learn from it. So whatever we don't understand, or whatever is outside of our comfortability or our box of the frequencies or dense energies, which gave us stringent, stark, narcissistic, bigoted understandings of who we are. Anything outside of these bigoted, narcissistic, dense, vibrational understandings of our nature, we called it a disease. We called it imbalance. We called it impediment. Truly, there are differences other than what's happening in the box. And I channeled in this installment what was going on in the box were energetic imbalances. ancestral wounds, ancestral trauma that needed to be faced and atoned with through our inner space. Because if we got death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking in our reality, mirror to us in our reality by kinfolk, community, neighbors, friends that actually experience these things, even if we don't, understand we're one with the kinfolk, neighbors, friends, community, and which experience these things. So if we're looking out in the world and we see death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking, or we're experiencing death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking, best believe our energetic embodiment, baby, it needs some evolution. We need to come up out the box or atone with ourselves to be the wellness, the balance, to be the wisdoms from the energies that create death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking, instead of recreating and just it's being complacent with the death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking. How do we be the wisdoms? We atone with ourselves through the inner space, or the divine universal orchestration of all things. We are one with the divine universal orchestration of all things, or God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High. Hey soul, what is this trying to teach me about myself? What was this experience trying to teach me about myself? Can I be the wisdoms from it? Wait for the wisdoms because they will come. Validate yourself in your knowing so that you're more comfortable with unfurling, blossoming back into the homeostasis of the wellness, balance, limits, potentials, tandem, quantum, entanglement with universal orchestration, multiverse, limitless potential orchestration in which we've always been. With each other, in which we've always only been. So I channeled in this episode, has Mesopotamia in the title, schizophrenia, autism, bipolar, or really multidimensionality misconstrued by our perspective perception that was out of alignment with our quantum tandem nature with all things, or universal orchestration, or limits, potentials, or multidimensionality. So in Ancestral Teachings, so I would be upset, and I would be upset about it. I would be upset about not being able to trace back my African American. I couldn't remember where I was, and I looked at the notes. I said, okay, we talk about Ancestral Teachings. Ancestral Teachings, I channeled Kings of Kush, and we're gonna get back to how that how this wraps into how this full circle moment to channeling the Army, as well as Holy Roman Emperor Pantheon, which we're about to channel. So I'd be upset that I couldn't trace back my ancestral lineage from my African side. Because I had contrast, I could perceive how I could do it so easily through my European dimensions of the self. So I was excited about channeling the Kings of Kush, is what I'm trying to say. And I had a stark, bigoted perception of what I was about to hear from the Kings of Kush. Because I was like, they're about to tell me about my greatness, about, how we was riding on camels, and doing the thing. Baby had divine remembrances. Made sure everybody was well balanced, fed, watered good, sheltered in our empires. Well balanced, wealthy, many ways, spiritually in the pockets, Because I grew up learning about Jim Crow and enslavement and all these. So I'm ready to hear the contrast. I'm excited to hear the contrast, right? So in KTP's podcast episode titled Ancestral Teachings, again, all the podcasts are timeless. I channeled the Kings of Kush. And I was like, baby, I was busted about the box. So I was like, whoa. How we are, baby, evolving, being shown, confronted, baby. Presented with understandings about how all things are truly one. We are all one. We get to atone with our oneness, to grow our oneness into more wellness, more balance, our homeostasis of wellness and balance. So I'm channeling the Ancestral Teachings. So we had in the Army, we channeled Holy Roman Emperor Leopold, the Holy Roman Emperor. He's talking about how he was raping men and women. He's talking about how he was molesting kids, girls and boys, how he was having sex with animals. I was like, yee! But again, I'm in maturation. I understand we all on a holy mission to atone with ourselves, to evolve our energy into more wellness and balance. Because we are one with all universal forces. Our energies, our expressions, our experience contributes to the evolution of all things. So I'm understanding of this. I'm a professional. I was trying to keep it as professional as possible. I wanted the Holy Roman Emperor to feel welcome. Thank you for, being so expressive so we can see, be confronted and face and see and atone with ourselves, our energy, our evolution. So it was like, I was on all this stuff, and now I understand how, now I've transcended, I'm in a different dimension of a divine evolution, parallel universe, where I'm perceiving and understanding how, even though I thought I was doing stuff behind closed doors, my energy was still affecting the masses. or perpetuating death, disease, war, famine, poverty, pedophilia, sex trafficking, human trafficking, and all other stuff that of imbalance, or forgetful of the nature of our channel, all things, and the wellness that is life. Be the wellness that is life, that perpetuates the wellness of the life of all things. So I'm like, okay, so myself, I'm gonna say that, okay. So I was like, I was nervous. I was like, whoa. So the Holy Roman Emperor Leopold, the Holy Roman Emperor said that. And then the Ancestral Teachings, I channeled the King of Kush. And they like channeled in a real cryptic way to get me the message. And I got the message, and I shared the message in the podcast. They're like, our energy is one with the Holy Roman Emperor. And I was like, okay, self-acceptance, but just trying to teach me about myself. I got to go back and watch the episode, Ancestral Teachings. Again, it's linked below. So this happened. And I was like, shoot. So the Ancestral Teachings link below, reference KTP content. Okay. And I was like, okay, thank you for being honest. Because they said something about Austrian. And I was like, Austrian, that's European people. Like, why are we talking about, like, respectfully, we are one, but why are we talking about European? Because the King of Kush was channeling through me, and they started talking about Austrians. I was like, why are we talking about Austrians? Now, I know there have been plenty of African people, settled in Europe, living ancient colonies, black colonies in Europe, but that's not what we was talking about. Yes, this exists. That's not what we was talking about. They were like, Austrian. I was like, what's Austrian? What does Austrian have to do with this? We're talking about, respectfully, like, African heritage, like, and we're one with all beings, all things, but like, what is Austrian? Because I'm from my kid disposition. I was ready to hear about our great. I wanted to feel the contrast. I've been growing up on slavery and Jim Crow. I'm ready to hear the contrast, the greatness, the contrast. And they were like, Austrian. I said, why y'all talking about Austrians? I just heard Austrian. I said it, but I was like, I don't know what this got to do with nothing. And I was guided to pause out of that channeling, and I got a message, a divine revelation message, and I shared it in the podcast. They're like, the Kings of Kush energy is one with the Holy Roman Emperor Leopold energy. I was like, okay, self-acceptance, atonement season. I was like, okay. So what is it trying to teach me about the self, myself, the self? Goddard healing. Ask yourself the same question when you watch the episodes. What is it trying to teach me about myself, the self? Wait for the answers because they will come. Ask your inner space. Wait for the answers because they will come. So I'm going to sit back, and we're going to channel the Holy Roman Emperor Pantheon. Thank you, Ashley, for allowing us in your space, your place, your podcast to share our experience of being divine evolution in divine evolution as holy emissaries of the Catholic Church. Yes, Ashley, the Catholic Church. We share many dimensions of our understandings of divine evolution. We now have the understanding that our understandings of divine evolution were reeked of capitalistic intentions that were truly out of alignment with the truth that is the wellness, that is the limitless nature, limitless potentials of all beings, all things, no longer associating our limitless nature or restricting the dimensionality, the expansive nature of our limitless nature with what's possible, what's feasible through commodity. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you. Ooh, thank you. Thank you. Okay, just say heart center. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna keep my eyes closed. I'm still breathing, but I want to go ahead and share this before I'm gonna go ahead and share this. So I've been healing through the inner space, atoning, and we're the pitchfork, like we channeled earlier. We're the tuning fork. We're the tuning fork, like we channeled earlier, where we resonate and we resonate with different energies, which vibrates and aligns us which vibrates the thought patterns and wisdoms and understandings of our existential fundamental nature of who we are. We became so aligned with the game, like Monopoly game, the life game, where we make money, we buy stuff, we're a profession of something that gives us money, that affords us the money. We spend our energy to be a profession or work to get money to buy stuff. And we, repeat the cycle, just repeat the cycle, repeat the cycle, repeat the cycle, repeat the cycle, which is a super limiting paradigm of dimensionality or self-acceptance or our limitless possibilities. We get to atone, hey self, what was this trying to teach us about ourselves? And we beat a wellness. We actually have a Kingdom Things podcast episode for this. Because I was like, shit, ask yourself through your inner space first before you go watch this episode, because I want you to be clear on what your soul, what you're supposed to be contributing as far as thought patterns and understandings, divine evolution, which is a divine evolution that is yourself, which is a divine evolution which is channeled with all things. We got a Kingdom Things podcast episode for this. And speaking of fervor, right, or agitation, we want to be honest with ourselves, because we don't condemn the adjectives in which we use to describe ourselves. Simultaneously, we think regeneration, we don't think destruction. So before we get in this episode before I reference this episode, in regards to us aligning to capitalism and commodity as our existence, where we're vibrating as capitalism and commodity, which we repeat the cycles that fuel the hamster wheel of existence, where we're just getting money to spend money, spending our energy to get money to spend money, spending our energy to get money to spend money, and we live in a super condensed, limited perspective, perception, acceptance of ourselves, where we're in survival mode all the time. Firstly, we think regeneration, we don't think destruction. We don't want our world falling apart. We don't want our systems falling apart. We want them to regenerate with solution. We want them to regenerate and vibrate as solution, as harmony, as well as our highest timeline evolutionary existence beingness. To be systems that are one with, symbiotic with our nature of awakening and aligning to frequencies of our limitless wellness and balance with all things. We don't want to be angry. Let all the shit burn. We don't want to do this, because this doesn't bring solution. It just brings where we have to pick ourselves back up and build some more. We can think we're limitless. We can think we're general. I was actually guided by the Galactic Federation of Light. I got this message. I'm going to link the installment below. I don't remember what the whole title is, but it's like a Galactic Federation of Light message. Channeled it from the Galactic Federation of Light. And if you don't have a conscious awareness, we're all omnipotent knowledge wisdoms. You can drop into your heart space and ask, as well as I'll share a little bit right now. The Galactic Federation of Light is a symbiotic overseeing force of the cosmos, universal forces, embodied, unembodied, limitless potential existence of the cosmos that help keep peace, wellness, and balance of cosmic creation. I also channeled, it's in the podcast, I'll link the episode below. The episode is called Humans Ashamed of Being Human plus Galactic Creation. Humans Afraid of Being Human plus Galactic Experience. I channeled that galactic creation is a minute aspect, simultaneously one with infinite potentials, but a minute paradigms, minute dimension of limitless potentials, or the paradigms that is limitless potentials, or the infinite dimensions, infinite understandings, or acceptance of self. What does that mean? Our cosmic creation that we exist as galactic beings, galactic species, yes, tandem with limitless potentials, or the expansive limitless potentials that is God, Allah, Shekinah, Parcel, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High. Simultaneously, we have a stark perspective, perception of the limitless nature at any time, which manifests the cosmos, biological beings on planets and realms and dimensions. This cosmic creation of biologic and beyond beings, sentient beings on planets, realms, and dimensions. Cosmic galactic creation is an iota of limitless potentials, still tandem with limitless potentials. Why? Because our perspective, acceptance of ourselves is what creates our evolution, or how we experience the self, or the paradigm of existence in which we dwell within and as. So, I'm gonna link below. Humans Ashamed of Being Human plus Galactic Creation. Humans Ashamed of Being Human plus galactic creation. We transcend that. We're no longer ashamed. We accept ourselves. We atone with ourselves to be the wisdoms of our divine evolution, to assist with the upliftment and regeneration of all things. As universally aligned, universally assigned, so shall it be. Humans ashamed of being human plus galactic creation. So that's linked below. This is linked below in the Kingdom Things podcast reference content below in the description of this installment, timeless installments. And then we have the installment with Galactic Federation of Light in the title. I don't remember the whole title, but I'll mark it so you know what I'm talking about when you look for it. But look for this installment below in the description. It is the Kingdom Things podcast installment. I got a message from the Galactic Federation of Light. They were like, "Hey humans, hey the galactic beings, galactic species, think regeneration. Do not think destruction and chaos, because you're going to rip it out energies and manifest and create chaos and destruction. Think regeneration. Think highest timeline potentials evolution. Think no death, no disease, no war, no famine, no peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking, and so shall it be. Now, we were talking about how we became energies that perpetuated, how we aligned with the acceptance of self, or who we are, that became energies that perpetuated the hamster wheel of existing to expend our energy to make money to buy stuff, existing to expend our energy to make money to buy stuff, existing to expend our energy to make money to buy stuff. Transcendence. We're limitless. We know the baby, universal, galactic, and beyond ancestors from all around. They in the realm. They're channeling with us as our consciousness is expanding. As our consciousness is expanding, our DNA is activating, their energies are proliferating, our oneness, our existence, and like, hey, y'all can do a lot more than this. Like, yeah, this is cool, this is really beautiful and abundant, but y'all can do a lot more with this, and we're excited to be one with y'all and evolve and grow with y'all to more wellness, more balance, more limitless nature. As all these galactic ancestors and beyond are channeling with us. And they're discovering new things about their dimension, their self, or these self through experiencing through our existence. Because they didn't have conscious awareness. A lot of them didn't have conscious awareness that we existed like this, or the self existed like this. And now they do, because we're awakening. Our DNA genome is activated. So we're vibrating with the vibrations of our ancestral lineages, infinite dimensions beyond space and time, as well as within space and time. So they're perceiving our existence, our evolution, tandem with us, just as we get to dig in our heart space, atone with ourselves, to channel the wisdoms of infinite dimensions of ancestral forces, infinite dimensions beyond space-time and within space-time, to be the wellness, to be the divine evolution. So I channeled Saul of Tarsus, and we did an episode. It's linked below in the it's Keynote Things podcast episode. Saul of Tarsus is in the title, and we did healing around just this thing: spending our energy to make money to buy stuff. These were timelines. I know there's infinite ways to perceive this. This is one of the infinite ways that channel through myself to help be the wellness, be the wisdoms from our evolution, to no longer be upset, feel what we feel, and then atone, hey, what am I feeling? What's it trying to teach me about myself, so I can be the wisdoms, be the wellness. We channel about European colonizing around the planet, and how how the European colonization around the planet calcified us in dimension frequencies and bandwidths of dimensions or timelines of reality that were hamster wheel timelines, expending our energy to make money to buy stuff, expending our energy to make money to buy stuff. Instead of expanding out, it calcified us so we couldn't expand out and embody, activate into greater DNA faculties, spiritual awakening, consciousness expansion, to embody more consciously our limitless potentials, to be a no death, no disease, no war, no famine, no peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking, multidimensional beings of divine evolution of the cosmos, multi-planetary species. Now we're awakening from this, so we transcend the calcification. Transcendence meaning we no longer have to experience lives as acceptance of self as calcification or hampered or limited. We want transcendence, meaning we want the wisdoms from those experiences to be the wisdoms of wellness, to be limitless potentials, no death, no disease, no war, no famine, no peace, no poverty, no pedophilia, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking, or to align to this existence which already is our. To be this existence, to experience this existence, multidimensional species, beings, energies of divine evolution, galactic species of the cosmos, multiplanetary, multidimensional, which we've already always been. Now we're awakening to this. And our channel about, so Saul of Tarsus is linked below, the being calcified in timelines, dimensions of reality due to European colonization around the planet. That's a perspective. It's not the whole story, it's a perspective. Nothing is the whole story, it's a perspective. Say that to say, ask your soul space, atone with your soul space, to garner wisdoms and understandings from your soul space, to be your contribution to the evolution of all things, the wisdoms and frequencies that is your authentic contribution to the evolution of all things. So we've so there's that. And we've always only been a multidimensional species. I channel many ancestral forces, galactic and beyond. I could be referencing stuff all day here. So we're going to reference 3 podcasts really quickly. So I did, I have a cooking show. It's called Magic Meals with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. It is available to stream on YouTube, link below. Subscribe. So I've become more comfortable with my multidimensionality and sharing it within my cooking show. I've become more comfortable, and not just keeping it in the podcast, the spiritual podcast. I share it in my cooking show as well. I did a Facebook community live meets Magic Meals with Ashley-Nicole Phillips. I go live on Facebook on designated Fridays, and I cook or eat mukbang style, and I speak about whatever spirit puts on the soul. I'll link my Facebook page below so you can follow the page to catch when I go live and do these lives. I channel the Mayan ancestors in one of these lives. It was a kitchen live, Facebook community live meets magic meal. So I was cooking a new dish. I was cooking red wine vinegar braised chicken thighs. It was an experience because I had never cooked meat with the bones, chicken with the bones in it. It was a new experience. I had to be patient with myself, love myself everywhere I show up. I channeled the Mayan ancestors. I've channeled the Mayan ancestors before. Kingdom Things podcast. I'll reference it below. KTP with the Mayan ancestors. But I also channeled the Mayan ancestors in this kitchen live meets magic meals. I'll link this below as well. And they finally divulged because I commune with them in the inner space of Powwow sessions. I speak with them and learn, grow, and evolve, and vibrate into more wellness, more conscious awareness of the limitless potentials in which all things are, all things is. And they told me, hey, Ashley, we didn't just poof like from smallpox. Sure, there's a timeline of reality which y'all perceive. We disappeared because of smallpox or some stuff like that from the Spaniards coming over. That timeline exists, but that's not our state of self-acceptance. We accept the fact that we transcended as a colony, as a nation, to be a multi-planetary species. So, baby, we transcended to Venus. And that's what they share so far. But I'm perceiving that because humanoid species beings, we're on many planets and many dimensions. Our perception of feeling like we're in a desolate, like, baby, desertous, what's it called? Bramble bushes just flowing in the wind. Like we the only ones out here. That was because of our acceptance of who we are. We accepted our limited, finite, commodity, hamster wheel nature, vibration. So that's what we experienced. And this dense throne, we no longer condemning ourselves to, hey, so what was this evolutionary experience trying to teach us? Evolutionary phase. Trying to teach us about ourselves so we can be the wisdom, to be the wellness as we awaken, as multidimensional remembrance that we've always been multidimensional beings, channeling with all things God, Allah, Shekinah, Prime Source, Hashem, Brahman, the Most High. So in this kitchen live, I'm gonna link it below. The kitchen live, finally, because I've been wanting to share where y'all at, where y'all transcended to, because they're like, we transcended as a colony, we multidimensional planetary Venus. They said we colonized on Venus, actually. They shared it in the live. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, yay, thank y'all for telling me. That's so cool. So we already got, they're our ancestors. They're in our history books. And they said, hey, Ashley, there's a timeline, where we transcended because the Spaniards came over and smallpox, took a lot of us out. Yeah, that's a timeline that y'all perceive. But our self-acceptance, we'll garner the wisdoms from that. Sure, thank you. Our self-acceptance is we transcended and we colonized on Venus and other planets, other dimensions. And we co-created with different, while we was on the planet, we co-created with what they call the blue man, celestial extraterrestrial beings. And I channeled this, they shared this in the Kingdom Things podcast, installment, Mayan ancestors is linked below in the Kingdom Things podcast reference content. They were like, yeah, we when we were on the planet, as y'all perceiving y'all's history books, we co-created with extraterrestrial multidimensional beings. And one of them we called the blue man. I was like, whoa, how cool. So they shared this, right? So we've always been a multidimensional species because those are our ancestors that are in our textbooks. And they're like, we co-created with extraterrestrial forces, one species known as the blue man, and we transcended to Venus. We've always been a multidimensional species and we're awakening to this. So we no longer are we feel what we feel. We garner the wisdom to be the wisdom to awaken to our multidimensional, multi-planetary, limitless, infinite potentials, homeostasis nature. And everything we were experiencing, we were in the dense throng of amnesia. This was a phase to evolve into greater wisdoms and evolution from our phase, our existence, our evolution. So I'm going to link the kitchen live below, as well as my Facebook page. You can follow to catch when I go live, and channel whatever the ancestors put on my heart space. And I repost all the lives. All of my lives, my Facebook community lives, I repost them on my music page. I'm also a singer-songwriter. I heal through the inner space just like I do in all my other content. And I channel healing frequencies and energies into my music. Ashley-Nicole music is available to stream on YouTube. Go to Ashley-Nicole music on YouTube, subscribe, hit the notification bell. In the playlist section, you'll see the Facebook community lives. I repost, save, publish all of the Facebook community lives there. The Facebook community lives where we channel the Mayan ancestors is linked below in the description of this video. We also channel Pleiadians of Taygeta. I also share my multidimensional experience with Hogwarts, the Hogwarts universe. I share this experience as well. And then we cooked chicken. And I thought I was going to do we cooked chicken. I thought I was going to do more gracefully, but that's not what happened. But, you know, we accept ourselves and we grow and evolve from our experiences. So the Mayan ancestors, play-ins, the Taigeta, Hogwarts universe experience, Kitchen Live, Facebook community meets Magic Meals with Ashley-Nicole Phillips episode is linked below in the reference content in the description of this video. So we forgive ourselves to rise out of the dense throng, to remember that we've always been a multidimensional species. And we have ancestral forces sharing their stories, my content, and many other people's content to remind us that we've always been a multidimensional species. All right. And I'm also going to link below the Kingdom Things podcast episode titled Resolving Dueling Duality Consciousness. Resolving Dueling Duality Consciousness. I channel Marcus Garvey. As well as an Afrocentric ET species, as well as and this episode is Marcus Garvey, a couple other ancestral forces, as well as an Afrocentric ET race. And then I share another story about another Afrocentric ET race. This episode is titled Resolving Dueling Duality Consciousness. Link below under the reference content in the description of this video. Dueling Duality Consciousness. And then part two of this installment, it's a two-part installment, Resolving Duality Consciousness. The part two is, part of the title is called End of Slavery. I channel Harriet Tubman, Pleiadians, John Brown, George Washington Carver. These are great episodes as well. It's our multidimensionality, how it's one with every dimension we've ever experienced. There's 0 degrees of separation. We garner the wisdoms from our experience to remember our oneness with all beings, all things. Quantum entanglement with infinite potentials, and infinite potentials beyond the paradigms of infinite potentials, limitless nature. These installments are linked below in the description of this video. I'm going to sit back and we're going to go ahead and channel. Actually, we're just going to go into the three, because this is already a long installment. 3 ancestral forces we'll go straight through. We're going to do the Holy Roman Emperor Pantheon. And then we're going to channel Tahuti, ancestral force, as well as Rabbi Yeshua, most commonly known as Jesus Christ. Thank you, ancestral forces. Thank you, Ashley. We've already channeled the Holy Roman Emperor Pantheon. Thank you so much for letting me know this, because I'm like, oh, we already channeled, baby. I'm in mid, baby. We started talking and going and flowing through infinity. So we're channeling Tahuti and Rabbi Yeshua. Thank you, Ashley, for allowing me to come. And for such short notice, I did correspond with Ashley just before starting this installment, letting her know that I wanted to be here in this monumental moment where we're sharing, we're remembering in our monumental nature, or our tandem capability to remember and be limitless potentials. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you, ancestral force. Thank you, ancestral forces. Thank you. So I'm being guided to share. I've been healing a lot with Tahuti, which we all do, consciously and subconsciously. A lot of us here with the ancestral force Tahuti or Thothi Atlanti. They are 2 separate manifestations, right, of our one energy. So a lot of us heal with these ancestral forces. And I was healing with the ancestral force where I perceived where like the ancestral forces had thought patterns that kept us in condemnation or dense frequencies, or they felt like, you know, they felt like they had a superiority complex. And I channeled that superiority complex is one with our energy. And these superiority complexes, they keep us condemned in ways or limited in ways. And this is all a part of our evolution. We forgive ourselves. We forgive our ancestral forces, which are one with ourselves. Because, you know, like the playboy disposition, the F-boy disposition, I perceive how Tahuti helped manifest it. I was in the grocery store. I was doing power sessions with the inner space. I was just perceiving stuff like multidimensionally. And I saw that. I was upset because I forgot our oneness. It was like, since then, it's been, this is like a year and change ago. Since then, I perceive, when I get these downloads, I perceive like oneness. So if I'm perceiving this understanding and I perceive it as I'm standing in front of me, whatever understanding I'm perceiving, if I perceive it as standing in front of me, like a different being, different dimension, I perceive this understanding as separate from myself. I now perceive like our oneness. I'll see a circle that comes in front of me that connects me to whatever I'm looking at. So I no longer perceive separation, but I see the wholeness, how this dimension is just showing me a piece of myself to inquire, atone with the self, to grow and evolve the wisdoms from whatever I'm experiencing or perceiving. So I perceive how Tahuti helped manifest the F-boy, playboy. I was like, but now I forgive Tahuti. I forgive Ancestral Force because that, I forgive and I accept myself. I garner the wisdoms from this. The man and woman are one. We are one. We co-create everywhere that our reality shows up because the man and woman are one. Self-acceptance. Thank you, Ancestral Force. Thank you. Thank you. I'm going to sit back and we're going to go ahead and channel Rabbi Yeshua. Before that we do this, I do want to link below a Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment installment. It's a couple of them actually. I hope I have enough space to link all these because Spotify gives us only Spotify and YouTube only give me so many characters. So I'm just gonna link the Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment. There's like 3 installments that I did where I channel ancestral forces, where it helps us with the oneness with all things. Oneness that is a man and woman. The oneness that is all things. I'm gonna channel these installments below. I just want it's a lot of them. It's 3 of them, so I'll just 3 installments. I'll channel these. I'm sorry, not channel. I'll reference these below. I'll link these below. The 3 Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment installments. I'll put 3 installments. OCEU Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment 3 installments. And I'll list these 3 installments below. Great healing energies, channel all types of ancestral forces, ancestral wisdoms, remembrance, healing frequencies from the future, to be the future in the present moment, to vibrate our existence, our tuning forks as energies of healing frequencies of the future in the present moment. Thank you, Tahuti. I'm going to sit back and we're going to go ahead and channel Rabbi Yeshua, most commonly known as Jesus Christ. Thank you, Ancestral Force. Thank you, Ashley, for having me in such a monumental occasion. Ashley, you can push through. I want gusto in my channeling. Ashley, thank you so much for this monumental occasion. Thank you for having me, as I did correspond with you as well in late notice, right before you press record to co-create this transmission. Thank you for having me here, and I just wanted to be present. As we are presence. Thank you, humanity. Thank you, humanity. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Rabbi Yeshua. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Rabbi Yeshua. So I'm being asked to be forthright and share. I had some contrast with Rabbi Yeshua as well because I was healing through the inner space. It's like, okay, you're telling me to, I channel a lot of ancestral forces. I channel Louis Richard Rebbe, Rabbi Menachem Mendel Schneerson. I channel Rabbi Yosef Yishkak Schneerson. I channel Rabbi Yeshua, also known as Jesus Christ. And they're like, now is the time to share your divine wisdoms or your chakma. Now is the time to speak from your soul space, no matter how weird you think it is. Speak whatever your soul's put on your soul space to speak. Now's the time to do it. I was like, well, Rabbi, you didn't do that. I was feeling like that. And I transcendence. Being honest with him. I was like, Rabbi, like from what I be hearing, you was running around speaking in riddles and poems and tales. So you ain't just speaking brass tacks. And Rabbi was like, thank you for being honest, Ashley, and sharing with me how you feel. He's like, this is karma, because when I was out east with Tibetan mountains, with the gurus, sometimes I would do that too. I'd be like, you told me to do this, but he's like, sometimes there would be contrast, and I would ask questions, I would push back. When I was studying Tibetan mountains. So this is my karma, Ashley. Thank you for being honest. And we actually shared about it. He's like, can I come speak to it in the podcast? And because I was about to go create a podcast when me and Rabbi Yeshua had this intimate dialogue through the inner space. He's like, can I share in the podcast? I said, surely. And he did. He responded in the podcast, and we spoke together. We communed together with Quetzalcoatl, the ancestral force deity Quetzalcoatl, the energies of Gobekli Tepe, John the Divine, and I think Tahuti might be in this one as well. And the Rabbi Yeshua. It's called A Family Meeting. It's a Kingdom Things podcast episode called A Family Meeting. Again, all the content is timeless. Whatever resonates with your heart space, great. Inquire about your heart space. Again, call to action. Sit with yourself every day. Ask yourself, hey soul. What is it that I need to know to come into greater conscious awareness, as well as greater conscious embodiment of my limitless potentials? So we have a family. Wait for the answers because they will come. Your lingo with the universe is most likely unique to you. Validate yourself in your knowings. Kingdom Things podcast, The Family Meeting, is linked below in the reference content of this video. I want to thank y'all so much for joining this Kingdom Things podcast with myself, Ashley-Nicole Phillips, episode rendition edition. Universal wisdoms, that is our sentient nature. Universal wisdoms, that is our sentient nature. Thank y'all so much for dropping in. Again, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube and hit the notification bell. Follow and hit the notification bell if you're watching on Spotify to help proliferate Kingdom Things podcast with myself, Ashley-Nicole Phillips. We talked about we're here on Kingdom Things Podcast. Again, subscribe, follow, hit the notification bell, all that good stuff. Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment is only available to stream on YouTube at this time. Link below, subscribe. We do powwow sessions over there. We already talked about it. We come through the inner space to help uplift paradigms, synaptical understandings of the self into greater conscious awareness and conscious embodiment of our universal, infinite, limitless wisdoms. Oneness Connection Energetic Upliftment, again, is available to stream on YouTube. My music, Ashley-Nicole Music, is available to stream on YouTube. Link below in the description of this video. I have a lot of albums. Just go to the playlist section. I have over 10 projects. It embodies, records, exemplifies my evolution and growth. Saying that to say, like, I evolve and grow, and I don't take any albums down. So there's some things lyrics that I don't agree with this day, and I just atone with it. Why was I thinking that? Like, where was I at? So with my vibrations and my energies. There's all types of genres. We have hip hop, we have R&B, we have country, we have singer-songwriter, we have like disco type vibes, we have like I have one EDM type vibe song on Goddard Sings. Hope there's lyrics and wisdoms and healing frequencies that grow you into greater conscious awareness, conscious embodiment of the limitless potentials, authentic frequencies of wellness and balance, and which is truly is our homeostasis. Again, Ashley-Nicole Music is available to stream on YouTube. Again, over there, you can also play back the Facebook community lives. I'll go to the playlist section. You'll see the Facebook community live playlist section. I've linked my personal Facebook page below, so follow the channel, follow my Facebook account to catch the lives when I go live. Whenever you're aligned to do so. I also have a live series. The soul's like, hey, Ashley, do you still want to act? I said, yes, surely. Okay, follow your heart space. Let's co-create this live series. It's called Out of the Box. It's what we're all experiencing in some way, some form, some fashion. We're awakening within the illusion of finite to our limitless potentials. Out of the Box is available to stream on my music channel. Again, go to the playlist section. The first season of Out of the Box is streamable at this time. I'm also an author. I channeled the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel. Is a part of my awakening journey. My soul's like, hey, Ashley, back when I channeled it about 4 years ago now, the soul's like, hey, Ashley, we want to help you remember who you are. Channel these books, share it with the world, so y'all can use this as a resource, as enjoyment, as you awaken to the remembrance of your multidimensionality. The remembrance that you've always been one with multidimensional nature. The Unconditional Love Literature Parcel is a 3-part book series. The first 2 parts, Asia's story. Coming Home, the story of Asia is the first book, followed by the story of Asia, I'm Home. Asia is a teenage girl growing up in the New York City foster care system. She's catalyzed onto her spiritual awakening journey when she meets her twin flame Chase in the hallway of her school at Manhattan Prep. She goes through a lot of experiences which help grow and evolve her, align her with the remembrance of the limitless wellness and balance that is her homeostasis, that is her existential fundamental nature, our homeostasis, our existential fundamental nature. The third part of the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel is my other half. My other half is a twin flame divine counterpart journey back home to God inside, home frequency of the remembrance that we are one with limitless potentials, that we are the existential fundamental natures, wisdoms, that is universal, omnipotent creation, evolution, existence, beingness. One soul manifests as 2 beings over many lifetimes as human beings of planet Earth through many space-time paradigms or dimensions of evolution of human culture. They know they're supposed to co-create a love and a life together. They will co-create a love and a life together. Which space-time paradigm, under which circumstances, evolutionary status. This is the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel. It is available in the Amazon bookstore. If you're doing digital downloads, it's 3 separate downloads, $29.97 plus tax, more for all 3 books, the whole parcel. If you're doing paperback copies mailed to your home, it's 2 separate bindings. Asia's story, Coming Home, the story of Asia, followed by the story of Asia, I'm Home, is in 1 binding. My other half is in a separate binding. So 2 purchases, 2 bindings, $29.98 plus tax for all 3 stories shipped mailed to your home. The link specified between digital. I'm just thinking about how fun of a time I'm gonna have fitting all of these episodes in the description of this box. It's gonna be a good time. We're gonna do it though. Pray for wellness and balance. So the links specifying between digital and paperback copies are in the description of this video. Link below. I'll just shorten the URLs. Link below in the description of this Kingdom Things podcast episode. What else? Ashley started the animated series. We just watched the episode. Again, the inspiration stems from my experience channeling the Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, multidimensional experiences, multidimensional wisdoms in which I have conscious awareness of, through my perspective of any moment in which I'm channeling the animated series, co-creating the animated series. I channel within the animated series. Asya Story, the animated series, is available to stream on YouTube. We have about 3 seasons and then a playlist with clips where I was just learning how to I was being taught by the soul how to do this, how to co-create the animated series. Again, Asya Story, the animated series, is linked below. AP Short Stories on YouTube. Enjoy it. I hope it inspires soul, mind, body, soul, spirit awakening as universally aligned, universally signed for the upliftment and regeneration of all things. Your authentic contribution to the evolution of all things. And so shall it be. Do not replace any of your professional medical advice with any of my content. I love you. Love on yourself. Self-love is the best love because you have to love yourself in the way in which you want your reality to love you back. Self-love is the best love because you are loving your true truths. Give that love to yourself first. Self-love is the best love because it helps you embody your limitless potentials consciously. I want to reference one more thing. I do have a intuitive dancing show. It's called Dancery. It's on my music YouTube channel, Ashley-Nicole Music on YouTube. You go to the playlist section and you'll see I have 3 episodes published for Dancery. It's intuitively dance. We get intuitively taught by the soul space. I get intuitively taught by the soul space and I share with the video. We do it inside the content. We on the fly. We channeling. And I was being hazed when I first started. The soul says you were being initiated, Ashley. We want to see if you really wanted this. The ancestral forces that, they help with dance and stuff, create dances, they was hazing me. It's all good. We forgive, we love, and we garner the wisdoms from the evolution. Dancery is available to stream Ashley-Nicole Music on YouTube. Fun way to move your body. Fun way for us to move our body, have a good time, connect with the soul space and inner space. Ask your soul space and inner space, hey, what dance move? I don't like the way Ashley did. What can I do? And let your soul space guide your vessel, because our soul space is one with our vessel. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
My name is Asya, and I'm a teenage witch. Just kidding. I am a starseed. My story is much like humanity's story. I awakened to some pretty spectacular things about myself. Coming home, the story of Asya, followed by the story of Asya, I'm home. The book series that introduces the book. After returning from a day's trip, I have read my Atom's letter. He speaks of my father releasing him from imprisonment and the fate of death. He pleads for us to run away together. This plea is one of which I was no state to decline. My other half, available in the Amazon bookstore. Still as though I was born here on earth to find you. I was created to find my person. The Unconditional Love Literature Parcel, now available in the Amazon bookstore.